I'll continue adjusting the loft. I'll select the loft object and go to the path level. In wireframe mode, you can see the path highlighted in red. It's that single line segment that we drew earlier. Note that the line appears at the base of the stack. I'll go to that and go into the vertex level. Here I can select a vertex of the path and move it. The loft object is scaled proportionally as I transform that vertex. The resulting loft object is a combination of cross-sectional shapes that's extruded along this path. And right now we have the simplest possible path, a straight line. We can make that more interesting by refining the line and adding an additional vertex. As I do that, notice that new topology appears in the loft. I'll turn off Refine and move this vertex. The loft immediately deforms because, after all, it has to follow the path. So this is another way that you can add complexity to the model. Now for this particular object, I don't really want it to curve like this, so I'll delete this middle vertex and go back to the top level. Remember, we instance these shapes into the loft. That means we have control over the loft with these shapes. I'll select this rectangle and adjust its parameters. See what's happening? I'm able to adjust the overall 3D form very easily, simply by adjusting the parameters of these instance shapes. I'll go back to the top level of the loft and add some path steps. Now I'll go down here to the Deformations rollout and click the Scale button. This is a graph that represents the scale along the loft path. Right now it's exactly 100% all the way along the path. So it's really doing nothing for us. Let me position this just so. Now these dashed lines indicate places where we've instanced shapes into the loft. I'll add some additional topology to the loft path here by inserting corner points at a couple of locations. Then I can scale these up or down, and the loft will be adjusted. Now it looks like we're working backwards here. I'll rotate this around the other way, and you'll see that more immediately. So this is another way that you can add complexity to your loft, by adjusting the scale along the loft path direction. You can right-click on one of these and change the vertex type. And then you have the ability to use the Move tool to adjust the handles. And you can get a more complex shape. The other graphs work in much the same way. I can twist the skin along the path by adding vertices and then scaling them. Here I might need to move them. There we go. And you can see that the skin is twisting. So there's really a lot of complexity here that you can manage with these graphs. Of course, for the VAV box, I don't need any of this, so I'll turn these off.